You take a carrier oil, apricot oil, almond oil, fractionated coconut oil, virgin light olive oil, and you put to that, say 4 ounces of it. You put in that, say, 10 drops of peppermint oil, 10 drops of helichrysum. Helichrysum is excellent oil for deep, severe pain.
Okay.
Okay, like I'm talking fractured bone pain.
Interesting.
Okay. Helichrysum. Black pepper oil. 10 drops of that. White fir. White fir is another one for intense, debilitating, acute pain. White fir. 10 drops of that. 10 drops of lemongrass. And lemongrass it's also called Melissa.
Right.
Okay, lemongrass, or also known commonly by the name Melissa. 10 drops of that. You put all of that into 4 ounces of oil, and use that for rubbing over, knees, lower back. Run it down the spine, so that
I have every one of those ones that you just mentioned. So
yeah, so 10 drops of those. Put them into 4 ounces of a carrier oil, a good quality one, and use that to massage on the body. You could do that mixture up as well. Every single one of those can be taken in internally with food grade oils, which you can find on both of those websites. kingdomofhealing.com and herbalmedicinedoctor.com, and Herbal Medicine Doctor is DR on it. And those are, they're food grade ones. You can take them internally. So that is, there's a formula right there for chronic pain.
Right on. Right on.
And, then we've got all of these the viruses, the mononucleosis, the Epstein-Barr, herpes. The medical field doesn't really do too well with these things, and that's because these are viruses, and they make their way inside the cell. And the ring around, like I said earlier, the black ring around every cell, it's omega-3 oil. And so the oils penetrate oil, and then they're able to penetrate into the cell. So they neutralize the viruses. And, omega-3 oils, your fish oil, salmon oil, krill oil, flax, primrose oil, that's kind of some land and sea, where you get the omega-3. And, 100 years ago, 1 in 100 people got cancer. And now we've got it 1 in 2 with women being 10 times more prone to being diagnosed with cancer than men. Men are 1 in 3. And like I said a little earlier, is that women get it due to being exposed to just more chemicals, even in the home.
Wow.
So, all those cleaning products and stuff. So, you can take just water and, say, lemon or grapefruit oil or melaleuca. If you're in an area where melaleuca oil, the tea tree oil will kill viruses and bacteria. So you can just keep shaking that up in a spray bottle. Take 16 ounces of water, put 5 drops of tea tree oil into that, and maybe some lemon to make it smell a little better. Keep shaking that up, and once you've cleaned everything down, just spray it around. Spray the surfaces, spray the door handles. So just leave it, let it dry.
Okay.
That's antiviral, antibacterial. You don't want to be spraying all that stuff down with Lysol.
See, that's easy. That's an
chemical.
easy mixture right there.
It's simple. It's so simple.
Because tea tree oil really isn't that expensive.
No. And for spraying it down like that, you can get some of the other ones, the tea tree oils that are not refined to the point where those, with the higher process of refining them,
So I did not
are
realize.
ingesting.
Okay, because I did not realize that tea tree oil was melaleuca.
Yeah, melaleuca. Tea tree oil comes from the melaleuca tree.
Okay, so I did not realize
it's from
that.
the melaleuca tree. It's like frankincense comes from the baswala tree.
Oh, really?
Baswala.
Okay.
And we've heard of baswala.
Right, right.
Ayurvedic medicine. We use a lot of that in Ayurvedic. But
November is Epilepsy Awareness Month, if I'm not mistaken.
frankincense. There's a lady who has a. I got into herbs because of a handicapped child with seizures. He was born missing the majority of his brain, and so he was put on phenobarbital at 26 hours of age. And then at 3 months, they added Valium and Dilantin. And it was, ironically, it was at age 3. I had been studying nutrition, but the herbs and stuff came when he was age 3. And just like this gal, her daughter was 3 years old. And my son, I got off of got off of his 3 medications within 4 months on herbs. And the only oils and stuff back then that we could get we were all synthetic. You never heard about naturally derived ones. You couldn't get them, and there were a few that I had access to, but there was more focus on the herbs, and until the research was in on the oils and stuff, on how amazing they are. And so within 4 months, I weaned my son off of his medications and used herbs to control the seizures. This gal, somebody gave her a bottle of frankincense, and she was directed to put a couple of drops of frankincense on the feet of her little 3-year-old
So non-diluted.
daughter. Non-diluted, full strength, on her feet. And this little one was having seizures 14 to 20 in a 24-hour period of time, even on 2 medications.
Wow.
So so when she applied the frankincense, within the next 24 hours, she had 1 seizure.
Very
By the second day, this lady controls her daughter's seizures completely with frankincense.
Wow.
On the feet.
Wow.
And I'm sure she probably applies it 3-4 times a day.
Sure.
But her daughter's not on the medications.
Wow. Very cool.
So, when you stop and think about, frankincense, myrrh, and gold is what was brought to the baby Jesus.
Right, I was going to say, it's one of the healing oils in the Bible.
It's probably, it's one of maybe the highest revered of the oils,
right?
is frankincense. And, there's just so many things that frankincense works on. And, it's highly prized in ancient herbal world for its for the curative properties. It corrects cellular imbalances, so it helps with cellular health. It's immune stimulating and healing. It soothes and feeds the nervous system.
Interesting, because
so seizures, that is certainly a
the nervous system. So would that be a good one for fibromyalgia?
Oh, absolutely. Fibromyalgia, just the pain in the muscles, by even doing something we're putting together, the one I was talking about with the peppermint and the helichrysum, black pepper, white fir, lemongrass. Mix that up into the 4 ounces of water, and rub that onto the skin, because
into water or a carrier oil?
No, into a carrier oil.
Okay.
That's where I was talking about for for severe pain.
Okay.
Is 4 ounces of oil and just doing 10 drops of each of peppermint, helichrysum, the black pepper oil, white fir, and the lemongrass.
Okay.
And add frankincense to that as well, and 10 drops of frankincense, and use that all over the body, because the pain from the fibromyalgia, I mean, even your skin hurts with that, with the nerve endings. So, a lot of these oils, they come from areas that is native to where they originate at, So, it's kind of like with herbs as well, Yes, you can plant an herb garden, but what are you going to do? You take all the same dirt. You take all the same dirt, and you put in all these different pots, and then you put in your seeds, to plant your herb garden. Well, that's okay for culinary, but you really want your herbs and stuff to come from where their natural habitat are at. It's like all of your docks, your burdocks, your yellow dock, the dock family. They grow where the soil is extremely high in iron.
Okay.
They'll grow in, a good organic dirt.
Sure.
But if you want them to have the natural, documented properties that they need to have for healing, they need to be cultivated in their natural environment.
Okay.
Where they come from naturally. Comfrey, comfrey grows in oat straw. Those grow where the ground is extremely high in calcium.
Interesting.
That's why they're so good for a comfrey salve or a liniment made with comfrey in it. Can heal. Can heal. You want to do that with broken bones and torn ligaments and stuff. Use that topically, but don't be going mixing it with. Don't mix it with Vaseline.
No, please don't go doing that.
Petroleum jelly stuff that is.
I mean, I can show you some stuff right here where
it's coal tar. It's poison.
Whatever, come on, guys.
Like Vicks Vapor Rub. Okay, so there is a petroleum jelly product, coal tar, and then you have the menthol in that is all synthetic.
Right.
So, you slather down the chest and the back and stuff with that. You just slather the body with a coal tar petroleum product, which is a toxin.
Right.
And then the skin's going to absorb into it as well, this synthetic menthol. So, none of that's good.
No.
Yeah.
Now when you can use the cinnamon and a wintergreen or a spearmint, a peppermint or
Exactly. And do it in olive oil.
Right.
Or fractionated coconut oil. Or, even flaxseed oil. I mean, if you don't have something specific that you want to use, there might be something you can grab out of your cabinet to use that's far better, that's healing and food, it's nutrition to put on your skin.
Right, because I tell you, go get an icy hot bottle and look at the ingredients and just see if there's just one word besides the word ingredients. Is there one word in those ingredients that you even know what it means?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, in the icy hot, there's not one word that you will know except for the word ingredients.
Yeah. Yeah. My gosh. And then you put that on your body. That's absorbed into the skin. It's put into the tissue. It's carried by way of the bloodstream.
Right? And it only takes 27 seconds for your body to absorb it. So, I mean...
I wanted to...
Or is it 17? No, 26 seconds. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's there. Toxifying every cell that it comes in contact with. So... One thing I wanted to share was there's a recipe for diabetes.